What's going on, Jerome's? So, of course, Kevin O'Connell is the certified quarterback whisperer, even though all that he does is whisper in the quarterback's ear, do not suck on this play, and ideally, do not hang on to the ball too long, and don't get sacked 9 times. And if you do all that, we will have success. I actually could see him like whispering like that. Anyways, the whole question this offseason is, what are the Vikings going to do at quarterback? Now, slinging Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback, I think that there's a small chance that they bring him back, but more likely he leaves either in free agency or less likely a tag and trade situation. And he had a fantastic year. He's made himself a couple of bucks, but the way it ended up, it just leaves a sour taste in the mouth of the fans, of the ownership, everyone. And, of course, you did draft J.J. McCarthy last year, number 10 overall, highest drafted quarterback team history. You moved up in the draft to go get him and showed up and showed out in the offseason and training camp and the one preseason game that he is that dude. And, yes, we do have a franchise quarterback in place. The way how good Darnold played last year did impact the calculus a little bit, but it is time for more fatties along the offensive line to protect J.J. McCarthy, protect the investment. It's right here. All right. And McCarthy is only one of 2 quarterbacks under contract for the Vikings for 2025. The other one being Brett Rippon on the futures deal, and there's a lot of free agents. So what do the Vikings do with Darnold? I think ultimately Darnold leaves. I don't think a tag and trade is worked out, but I think that he just leaves the Vikings to get some comp pick credit. And with Darnold gone, I think that does open up the door for Daniel Jones. Now, the Vikings picked up Daniel Jones at the end of last year, practice squad, and then onto the active roster. They want to get a look at him, as well as there's a lot of value. Like if Daniel Jones leaves the free agency to take a starting job this year and gets paid, the Vikings get some more comp pick credit, which is really fantastic. But if Darnold leaves, I would love to have Jones in purple. Like even if it costs 8, 9, 10 million bucks. That's perfectly fine for a backup quarterback. QB2 is the second most important player on the team, to be honest. And it's not going to be a competition. Like, obviously, it is going to be J.J. McCarthy's team. But Jones, maybe Jones is like, hey, I could take a starting job on a bad team and, maybe ruin my career. Or I could be here with the Vikings and get some really good coaching, get my feet back under myself. I'm only 27 and I have a full rehab season, hit the market next offseason and really get up and get after it. Also, I mean, knocking on all the wood, you never know. Like Jones may be needed in 2025, and then he really gets paid. So who really knows in that regard? But I would love Jones back if Darnold isn't back. They got Nick Mullens. Nick Mullens is uber entertaining to me, and honestly, with how bad Darnold played the last 2 games, at a certain point, just like, do you just put Mullens in? Because he at least will get rid of the ball quick, and it will go downfield, and he will put up 400 yards, and there will be 4 touchdowns. Don't know for which team. Who really knows? But Mullens actually can move the offense, and he is the elder statesman. He turns 30 in March. He's highly respected for his football acumen in that quarterback room. So I know that people don't like Nick Mullens. I find him entertaining, and I think with a young quarterback like J.J. McCarthy, and even if you don't bring back Darnold or Jones, I think that you could potentially bring back Nick Mullens, even though he always has these delusions of grandeur. But that's okay. But it's weird when you think of a veteran backup quarterback. You want a guy that's just going to check it down and just take what's open and not be too exciting. Mullens is just going to effing sling it. It's like when Mullens had to come in for Darnold with a couple of injuries for like one play, and then every single time, are we going to hand it off? Nope. 999. I love it, man. But the Vikings, one of those 3 will be back, whether it be Darnold, Jones, or Mullens. And then you look at free agency because, maybe Kevin O'Connell is just like, and for my next trick as quarterback whisperer, because, I don't know, do you finally bring Trey Lance back home? Is he fixable? Is he salvageable? Zach Wilson and Kevin O'Connell just keeps up his streak of fixing former Jets draft bucks. Heineke. If you let go of Mullens, do you bring back Heineke as your veteran backup? I don't know. Andy Dalton's out there chilling. Justin Fields, probably going to go somewhere to start. Jumping Joe Flacco. Jameis, no. Wentz, no. Jimmy G, kind of hope not. Carson, Easton Stick, we're going to go full NDSU on the B. I don't know, man. But, just look at the quarterback landscape and also looking at the quarterback draft. I don't know. It really does make you feel good that the Vikings did what they had to do, go up and get their guy, and frankly, he's going to be the best quarterback of the 2024 class. I said what I said, Jaden Daniels. That's right, baby. But even though the Vikings are bereft of draft picks, they have a 1, a 3, and 2 5s. Some of these quarterbacks are going to be out there as priority UDFAs. I mean, it wouldn't shock me at all if Hennigan from Memphis or Max Brosner from Minnesota goes undrafted. Maybe Donovan Smith, Tyler Show, I think probably is going to be a day 3 selection. But getting a young, because this is what you want for your quarterbacks. So you have your starter, you have a veteran backup, and you have a young developmental guy. Maybe 2. Have one on the practice squad since they expanded practice squad numbers, and that's what you want. That's the formula, because the veteran is there. He can basically be the assistant quarterback coach in that room, and if something goes wrong, he can hold down the fort. You can do that. The young developmental guy, maybe he can develop into the backup quarterback. Maybe he shows off enough in preseason that eventually you trade him to a quarterback needy team, or he leaves and some team sees enough potential where he gets signed and you get some comp pick credit, all that stuff. And that's what the Vikings need to do for many years. So the Packers in the 90s under Holmgren, the Eagles with Andy Reid, and the Patriots with Belichick, and then they had like Jimmy G and all that stuff. Just turn your backup quarterback spot into a quarterback factory. Like Kevin O'Connell has the bona fides that any quarterback that the Vikings have, like rotating through as a backup behind McCarthy, like he could have some staying power. Like he could be well coached. He could be coached up. He could do all that stuff. So that's what the Vikings need to do. Quarterback is the most important position in all of team sports. And even though you got the guy, keep on looking for the other guy. So, Darnold is probably gone. Perfectly fine with that. Brett Rippon, he could be the practice squad guy. Although it is noteworthy that the Vikings essentially picked Brett Rippon over Jaron Hall, even though Jaron Hall decided to take his talents to Seattle, essentially. Right, but they didn't have him on the 53, tried to get him onto the practice squad. But we'll see what Daniel Jones does. If Jones or Darnold is not back, I'm fine with Mullens. I'm not really too keen on the free agent quarterback class. I mean, what do you do? Also, I do want to pick up a quarterback as a UDFA and bring them in the camp, so you got 4 quarterbacks going on the 90-man rooster and just go from there. But it is J.J. McCarthy's show, but the question is who the other quarterback's going to be. Certainly up in the air and certainly fair, but we all know it's going to happen. Nick Mullens is going to win 5 straight Super Bowls. You can just feel it in your bones. All right. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Who is going to be the other quarterbacks for the Vikings besides J.J. McCarthy? And maybe Darnold. Listener thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best thing to do. Skull production value.